Joining me on stage now, Fort Hays State, representing the Tigers, 14-year head coach Chris Brown, junior quarterback Caleb Heavner, senior linebacker John Johnson. Fort Hays State was 6-3 against MIAA opponents, 8-3 overall in 2024 season. Coach, want to speak to us first about the upcoming season, then we'll have Chad and Jack jump in as well. Fire away, Coach.
First of all, I just want to thank Emporia State and Coach Higgins for getting this together. I mean, it's awesome. It's something that we need to get done every year. I want to thank Mike Racy and his staff at the MIAA office for everything that they do throughout the year just to kind of keep things going and keeping us as one of the top teams or top conferences in this country. And, I mean, they work their tails off to make sure that we're always the first ones to get things done, whether it's instant replay or whatever it might be. They're always on top of it and making those things happen. Also want to thank the wives. That's probably the number one thing, because our wives put a lot of time and effort into every single day taking care of the kids and getting them to school and making sure their husbands have a dinner when they come home. We got recruited and all that stuff. So I want to thank the wives for all that they do and taking care of us and taking care of our children. But very excited for this upcoming season. Got two great young men here with me as well, Caleb Heavner and John Johnson, both returning starters as well. John was an all-conference player for us last year. They've done a tremendous job this summer of making sure that our guys are prepared for this upcoming season and making sure our guys were there preparing and getting ready for this upcoming season as well. When you have 75 to 80 guys at weights every single day and doing 7-on-7 and team stuff on their own, that says something about their commitment and getting our guys' commitment as well to buy into what we're doing and trying to win ball games. But very excited about it. It's a tough conference. Week in and week out, you have to be prepared, and very excited about our two non-con games as well.
Caleb, welcome. Love to hear from you a little bit about the upcoming season.
Yeah, we've had a great summer, and we know the MIAA is a tough conference, and we're just ready to go. We're tired of talking about it. We're just we're ready to get to it.
Yeah, going off of what Caleb said, I mean, we're just ready to get back into it. This summer's been great. Been a lot of guys, the summer workouts and stuff, and yeah, I'm just ready for week one.
Caleb, taking over halfway through last season as a starting quarterback, obviously says a lot that you were all conference despite only starting half the games. But what's this offseason been like, kind of going in and being that guy throughout, and just kind of take us through the spring and the lead up to fall camp here.
Yeah, obviously last year, going in midway, coaches helped me out a lot. Teammates made it really easy on me. This spring, I really wanted to focus on really being a leader, just be more vocal. First spring, as taking reps with the ones and all that, just get more comfortable in the offense, meeting with our offensive coordinator more. That's been a big part of it, and I feel 100% confident in this offense now, and just ready to go.
Well, Coach, you had a great defense. You had a tough defense. If you had any concerns at this point about maybe a couple of players you've lost on defense, what would it be?
We lost quite a few guys in our back end, a lot of guys that were three-year starters at safety and at corner and those positions like that. But I really feel like the young guys that were behind them learned a lot from those young men ahead of him. A lot of leadership in that group as well, that they had, and that they kind of brought on themselves now as well. But it's just that game experience right now that some of these kids don't have in that back end. But I think through fall camp and the things I've done this summer have made them a lot more comfortable with what we're doing defensively. And there's some competition, and so we got about 2 or 3 guys at each position trying to get to that starting position as well. So that's probably the biggest concern right now. We got John at linebacker. We had a transfer come in as well. That's going to help us out. Our D-line's very experienced. But I think if we get that back in, just shirt up and get those guys playing well, our defense can be pretty tough again.
John, that as a leader, does that put a little more heat on you, a little more pressure on you?
Not a ton of pressure. I mean, we're a big family, and these young guys, they look up to us. So, just being able to be that role model for them, means a lot and stuff. So I wouldn't say it's too much pressure.
This is for Coach Jason Jorgensen with KRVN. It seemed like last year maybe didn't have the start you wanted, but second half of the year, you guys were playing some pretty good football. I know every year is different, but I would think you have to feel you have some pretty good momentum going into this fall.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, just, we had a great spring. That's number one. Number two, we really had a good summer, which is awesome. But it's just the work these kids put in through the summer. Well, hopefully it gets a fast start for us. We got 2 really tough games to start the season. We got the Lone Star champions playing Angelo State, and then we got the RMAC champions in Pueblo, and then we got to play Kearney, and then here we go. And we're back in MIAA play. So, we got two really tough games to start the season. So, we're going to be prepared and ready for that. So, and camp doesn't last very long. Only got 4 weeks. So, hopefully we carry a little bit over what happened last season and how we ended and how we played. But we got to take one game at a time, step by step, and just do our job, do our assignments, have fun while we're doing it, enjoy the process, and just make each other better each day.
Is this the toughest conference to play in?
Absolutely, absolutely it is. Day in or week in and week out, you got to be ready to play.
It just just hearing all the coaches and all the teams talk, man, that has got to be a challenge. You guys got to be up for it every single week.
Wouldn't want it any other way, right? I mean, it's fun to be, in this conference. It's fun. It's so competitive that, week in and week out that you have to be prepared. There's no gimmies in this conference as well, which is cool about it. I mean, any team in this conference can win the conference. Any team in this conference can get in the playoff and make a run as well. And that's what's cool about it. It's just the bad thing is we beat each other up so bad through the year or through the entire season, that we're not quite healthy, when it gets time to playoffs. But I love the conference. Wouldn't change it for the world. And, we got pretty 2 tough ones, at the beginning as well. So I'm excited to get the season started and see where everything ends up.
So is it ever tough going if you go, man, we go 8-3, we're rocking here at the end of the season, and that's it? Thinking that we're good enough to be in the playoffs, right? Or a postseason. Something. Is it ever tough to knowing that you got to go home at that point?
It is. I mean, because that's, in this conference, that's a really good season.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
8-3 is really good. To get into the playoffs, you almost got to be undefeated or, have 1 loss, and that's it. So that's the hardest thing about it. Good thing there's a couple of bowl games out there that do give you the opportunity to possibly play, one more time. But, an 8-3 season is a great season. Because of the toughness of this conference, and some of our losses weren't by very much as well. So I mean, they were close losses, but it's anybody's game right now. I think every team in this conference is ready to get started and get rolling and see where this thing ends up.
Cool.
Coach, I'll ask you about both guys next to you, but Caleb, obviously going 5-1 down the stretch as a starter, and that one was a tough 1-point loss at Pitt. What had you seen from him that last stretch of the year, and obviously put up some pretty great numbers? Just what have you seen from him continuing to develop? And then on the other side, John, him and Mikkel's been that great linebacker duo for you for several years now. What have you seen from him kind of embracing that leadership as the most veteran guy on that defense?
Just Caleb, just his growth, since he's been with us. I mean, he was really good as a freshman, very competitive as a freshman. He soaks everything in. He's continuously watching film. He's always taking notes. He's always in Coach Ross's office, going through things and trying to learn our offense a little bit better. Great leader, with just our team as well. Just not, the offense, but also the defense as well. Getting with his receivers continuously, getting with his running backs, getting with his offensive linemen. I mean, this guy it's football, football, football. And when you got a guy that's football constantly and thinking football continuously, even when he's working, he's watching film, right? And that's just the kind of guy that we got right now that just soaks everything in, wants to learn more every single day and be the best player that he can possibly be and do everything he can to help his team, win ball games. And when you got a guy like that, on your side, you got a good chance to win. He's athletic, he can throw, he sees things very well, he can run. So he's going to do some good things this year. I got a lot of confidence in him, and he's going to make those around him better. John has really grown into a tremendous leader for our defense. Plays the game physical, has good speed, has great size, knows our defense well, gets our guys lined up, has become that leader that we were needing to have this year because we have so many young guys, in the back end and getting them coached up. got a new linebacker coming in as well that he's coached up through this summer to make him even better too. And that's the cool thing about John is John's been with us for a while. I mean, he's done the long haul with us. A lot of guys transfer in and out here and there, and he's not one of those guys that wants to do that. He wanted to be a Tiger through and through, and he stayed here with us. And I'm sure there's opportunities for him to go other places, but he wanted to be a Tiger, and that's the cool thing. And other kids see that as well. So his leadership, his strength, his speed, and just his knowledge of the defense is going to make us better, and his physicality is really going to help us out as well.
Coach Alex Hammocky from KJFW, you kind of mentioned with the champions from CSU Pueblo and from Angelo State, it seemed like the past couple of years you're 1 or 2 plays away from making it to a playoff berth. Do you feel like having those two teams at your in your non-conference, that puts you a step above to get into that last playoff spot there when the MIAA has that third team opportunity and it doesn't go to a runner-up spot from a different conference?
I hope so, but we have to win those ball games, and that's first and foremost. If we don't win those ball games, it does nothing for us, and it does nothing for our conference as well. So, we need to go in there and win both those ball games and get after it and show them that we do deserve to be in the playoffs. But then it also comes to our conference. I mean, our conference is tough. We're not going to be able to lose 2 or 3 games in our conference and win those ball games because it's always going to come down to those 1 or 2 plays in every single game that can cost you the playoffs. So. We got to be on top of our game. We got to make the plays that we didn't make last year to win those ball games, and hopefully those 2 games do really help us out to get into the playoffs.
Coach, to kind of piggyback on that a little bit, it's kind of an odd dynamic in the non-con now that you have it, especially playing teams in your region. Do you kind of find yourself keeping tabs on all the other MIAA teams even more than usual because you kind of got to root for each other as a conference to win these non-con games to kind of help that playoff resume at the end of it. What's that dynamic like?
Especially the non-con games. You really root for your conference to win those games because in the end, that's what's going to help you out, and that's what's going to help you get into the playoffs as well as your conference winning those ball games and showing how tough this conference truly is. Probably the only game I don't root for them is the one we're playing in, and. Other than that, but we have to win those games against non-con teams, and I root for all our teams in those non-conference games. I hope they all win those games as well because I'll just show how tough this conference really is, and that this is but one of the best D2 conferences in the U.S.